Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this segment of Meet the Candidate. My name is Cheryl Walters, and I'm your host. Truly excited about the gentleman that you're going to meet today, and I know when we're all done, you will feel the same way that I feel. Let me start by saying welcome, Mr. Brewer, DeonkoBrewer, who is the candidate for the NC House District 12, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I tell you, I am just truly excited about what it is you've shared with me thus far and can't wait till you tell our listening audience and let everybody else know a little bit about who you are. Tell us, who is DeonkoBrewer and what in the world, what made you decide that this was the position you wanted to achieve or the dream you wanted to accomplish? Talk to us.
Yes, well, again, my name is DeonkoBrewer, candidate for House District 12. And, you know, it's nothing that I never actually dreamed of doing. Never thought I would be involved to this extent in politics. However, I've always been involved in the community. And it's something that I kind of just fell into. You know, politics affect you in one way or another. So, you know, why not get involved and try to be on the other side so you can impact the community in a positive way.
Okay, let me rewind a little bit just to give everybody an idea. Where is District 12?
Okay, yeah, District 12, yeah, because they actually redrew the lines.
Okay.
The district was redrawn, and right now it consists of Lenoir County and part of Pitt County. Lenoir being from, say, Pink Hill, Moss Hill, LaGrange, Kinston, and then when you move over into Pitt County, it consists of Ayden, Grifton, and part of Winterville.
That's exciting news for me because I did not even know the boundaries extended that far. I did have some information earlier from you about how you became involved, the community aspect of it.
Yes.
What kinds of things were you doing that you said people actually influenced you more than you volunteered to do?
Yes, yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I've been working in the community for about 25 years now.
What were you doing?
Well, after school program.
Gotcha.
Coaching. We actually initiated a few programs. You know, we realized that the youth, they needed a safe haven to give them options, give them other things to do, keep them out of trouble, and, you know, help them, assist them with homework and things of that nature, activities of interest to keep them engaged. And, you know, and then, you know, I also had them engaged with helping out, like at the homeless shelter, and also got them involved with helping out with the elderly. So, you know, just tying the community together, and that's something that you know, just kind of was needed, and that's something that we did. You know, we kept it going.
Well, that's awesome, and I tell you, you know, I feel that it's much needed, and apparently you do too.
Yes, ma'am.
You talked a little bit to me earlier today about a subject that really caught my attention, and that was your background as being a coach and some other things that you did in the community that actually stirred this whole thing up, where people actually started inquiring and saying, you need to move further.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Well, yes, I started off coaching, and as a coach, it really kind of, I felt honored and privileged to have the opportunity to work with young people. And as a coach, you know, kids enjoy playing sports. Mainly I coach basketball. Okay. And, you know, you can pretty much use that as some leverage. You know, you're giving the kids something that they enjoy doing, but then you also have the opportunity to instill some good values in them and to be part of their life, you know. So that's, you know, that's one of the things, you know, we started off doing, and it just kind of, you know, just looking at other needs, you know, trying to reach a little bit farther than coaching, because everybody's not going to bounce a ball or throw a ball or run, you know. So, you know, there's many other activities of interest that people are interested in, such as art, dancing. Some may be interested in, you know, career-oriented and academic, you know, programs. So we actually offered a free after-school program, and kind of, you know, had some of the younger people looking at their future, looking at, we did a Kids to College program, so that way they can start looking at different areas, you know, because it's important that they start thinking earlier about their future.
I kind of wanted to stay on this plane a little while, only because I wanted to go back to the fact that you are a single parent.
Yes, ma'am.
And being a single male parent of, is it 2 daughters and 1 son? Or
yes, that's correct.
2 daughters and 1 son.
Yes.
And having to make sure that they're engaging in things that will impact their future.
Yes.
I'm sure. Talk to us about how that single parenthood position played a key part in the observations that you made of other children that didn't have parents or that. Okay. Talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, actually, as a single parent, you know, I really, you know, kind of experienced some of the challenges of what it is to be a single parent, you know, providing us, you know, shelter and taking care of your kids. And also, you know, I pretty much kind of got my kids engaged in the community as well, because I noticed that, you know, some kids, even though whether they have a single parent or both parents, a lot of times kids come home and they don't have a parent home when they get out of school. And latchkey kids.
Latchkey, that's the term. Yeah, that's what they call it.
And so, you know, they will get engaged in something. So, you know, you have to put some positive options out there for them. You know, so, you know, I felt the need to do that, and it was challenging because taking care of my own household, making sure all my kids' needs, and they require attention as well. You know, so you know, I taught my kids how it's so important to serve in the community. You know, it's not all about, you know, us. You know, you know, and even though, you know, and you know, some of the parents just are not there, you know, when the kids come home, and not that they're bad parents, but some of them have to work, you know, certain shifts, and you know, and it's, you know, and I just taught my kids that it was important that, you know, that we serve and help out the community.
Now, how did your children feel about that? You know, my dad's got all this time that he's spending with all these other kids, and you know, give us some incidents that they might not have been as easily to influence, that what you were doing was something for the betterment of them as well. Tell us about that.
Actually, that's interesting that you asked that question, because I can think of incidents probably for just about each one of my kids, where because they were spoiled. You know, I made sure I gave them plenty of attention, got them involved, kept them involved in extracurricular, stayed engaged in the academics and everything. So, you know, I can recall with my oldest daughter, she's 26 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah, and she graduated from Fayetteville State, and she made me a grandpa. You know, she's engaged. Her and her fiance both college grads, and she's very actively and involved. She's a social worker. So, you know, I can see that, you know, as a kid, the hard work and showing her about service. You know, I always told them, you know, you take care of God's business, He's going to take care of your business. That's
good.
So, you know, if you serve and you look out for others, you're going to be taken care of. So, you know, she's I remember when she was a little girl, and I used to go to the school, and I would always, when I volunteered with all the kids, not just my kid. And you know, my daughter, I can tell she didn't really like that at first. She's like, you know, that's my dad, right. So yeah, and I had to teach her, you know, why it was important. You have daddy all the time, but you know, but only for a few hours. You know, because sometimes that's the only male presence that they may get a chance to experience. So, you know, you always, you know, let your light shine to others, you know, every opportunity you get. And so that's how it was with my older daughter. And I remember my son, he was playing basketball. He's been playing ball ever since he was old enough to stand up. And you know, one time he told me, he said, well, Dad, you know, he said, it seemed like you're so busy helping the other kids out. Yeah, he said we don't work out alone as much as we used to. So it took some adjustment on my part as well. So, you know, I had to make sure that I gave them individual time as well as we're going to engage with, but it's important that we engage in the community.
That's good.
And I can see, and it didn't take long with my kids as they gotten a little older, they actually enjoyed it. They enjoyed helping out other kids, and they saw the vision, they saw where some of the gaps were, and, you know, they was fine with filling in the gaps.
Good, good. And then the other little girl, is there anything?
Yes.
I'm sure she's a daddy's girl, so, you know, she's not ready to relent and say, hey, you can borrow my dad.
Yeah, right. So yeah, with her, you know, basically what I had to do with her, you know, she understood, you know, what was going on, and she would help out. And you know, she was like my assistant coach.
How about that?
Yeah, she enjoyed traveling because it also put her engaged with the other little girls, and she enjoyed it. And what I had to do with her, we had to do father and daddy date every now and then. Even right now to the day, we still have to, you know, take time out, you know, about once a week. Just she don't want anybody else to go.
How about
Sometimes
that?
she like it when we all go, but you know, each one of my kids like their own individual time.
Well, that's great.
As well, so I give it to them.
That's great, and they're very fortunate that you can do that, because
you have to make it.
That's good. That's really good. Now let's talk a little bit about your mom. Okay. Now, you know, moms are real protective over their sons. And I know with you taking on this and there, what's mom saying about this? How's she feeling about this? Is she nervous? You know, you're getting out there and you're getting in the public's eye, and what's happening with that?
Well, yes, you're right. Mothers are very protective. And, yeah, my mother is something that I know that she was not really thrilled about, but she know ever since I've been, you know, young, I've been engaged with helping out the community, and she know it's in me. So, you know, she would try to, even right now, my mother, she gives me great advice.
Awesome.
But she know I'm not gonna stop.
Right.
So she could just try to advise me and guide me, but she know that some of the things, that the unwarranted things that comes your way, the undesirable things that come your way, dealing with the things that, you know, we're dealing with now to try to make things better, you know, for everyone. But, you know, but now it's I'm seeing in her that, hey, this is in him. Regardless, he's not afraid of anything. You know, he's determined to help people out. And so, you know, she just guide me, and I can tell that there's a level of, you know, she's proud. Peace, and she's proud of me.
That's good.
Yes.
That's really
so that makes me feel good that she's not as worried, because, you know, I'm not worried.
Right.
So, you know,
that's good. That's good. We've touched on quite a few things here on your personal. We're going to segue a little bit into the future of this position that you're I'm not going to say running for, that you aspiring to obtain.
Yes.
We're going to put it like that.
Yes.
We're going to segue into that. But I just wanted us to get a feel. I wanted the audience to get a feel for the man, DeonkoBrewer, knowing that you're a single parent, knowing that you've spent some time in the community, knowing that you have a passion, not only for your own children, but for other children as well as for seniors.
Yes.
And that's a key thing. You know, me being a senior right now, I've had quite a few incidents where things were not necessarily in my favor as far as political, the political arena goes, and we've talked some about that, and we want to find out a little bit about your platform as to how you perceive or what you perceive this position will afford you the opportunity to do by way of helping seniors and as well as youth in your community. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, ma'am. That was my motivation to get involved. You know, as I told you earlier, that was never a desire of mine to get involved from this side. You know, I kind of wanted to just be involved in the background, and I'm more so of a results type person. I don't have to have my name. I've done several things that I've been involved with, but no one actually knew because I was in the background. But what really inspired me to move and get involved was just what you just spoke of as far as seniors. I have a soft spot in my heart for the senior citizens and just people in need in general. Because there's young people that's in need as well. But when I look at the seniors, I personally, I know people, my mother and other people that I know that they work their entire life, retire, and you know, they struggle. They just try to make ends meet now.
Right.
You know, you have to try to decide between getting your medication.
That's right.
And your and food to eat. You know, you have to make some crucial decisions. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing that and dealing with that firsthand. And I have to try to help out where, you know, fill in the gaps.
Sure.
And I think when a person is working 40 hours, you know, and they're working hard, doing everything they can do, you shouldn't really have to worry as much about getting medical treatment.
Right.
You know, there has to be a better way, you know, as far as Medicaid expansion. There is a better way, and, you know, we're one of the few states that's not, you know, have not given in to Medicaid expansion yet, and that's very important. That's something that we must, you know, make happen for our people.
I remember you sharing a story with me regarding your own
Mm-hmm.
personal experience.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about how individuals that need the assistance
Yes.
can't get it for a number of reasons. And can you share a little bit about that story? I don't know how much you want to share about it, but
I don't mind.
Talk to us about it.
Again, like I said, it's not just older, you know, the
Right.
elderly. It's, you
Exactly.
know, myself, I've worked my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
14, I worked in the blueberry field. At age 15, I worked in tobacco.
Wow.
And ever since I've been 16, I never not had a job.
Wow.
You know, I've either had one job, two jobs, or three jobs, or a job in a business. So I understand hard work. And everybody that falls into a position that they need assistance, it's not that they're lazy. It's not that they don't want to work.
That's good.
It's not that they're not trying. But sometimes you have people that's working hard and still cannot get assistance. And I fell into a position myself. I worked with the state for 23 years. Mm-hmm. And if I was still currently with the state, I would have about 28 years in now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you never foresee yourself being in a position of needing assistance
Right.
and needing help. It's just life happens, and you know, you can work hard, you can do all the right things. And I had an injury, and I ruptured my quad, 100% rupture. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had 2 major surgeries. Duke performed the last surgery, and it put me in a position where I couldn't go back and do my previous work, and I just never saw it coming.
Right.
And for a while I couldn't get any assistance. For a while I couldn't get any treatment. Just different anything, you know. And you know, doctors are not gonna see you if you don't have insurance, you know. Okay. And it was just a tough place to be in.
And why couldn't you get the medical assistance?
Well, for one, with my state job, when I could not go back and perform, they had to do a separation due to non-availability. Mm-hmm. Because all of the restrictions that the doctor from Duke had provided, you know, they couldn't take me back at, you know, performing to the same
So it's
capacity.
through no fault of your own.
No fault of my own.
Right,
no fault of my own.
Right.
And, you know, it was just a tight situation. Again, I worked my whole life, and then, you know, I couldn't, and initially I couldn't even draw unemployment because you have to be prepared and ready to go to work.
That's right.
So, you know,
wow.
Yeah, so paid in tax dollars, you know, and I couldn't get that. So, and then, you know, when it come down to disability, they was basically saying I was too young to get it. Want to see if you could do something sedentary, you know, and it's too much red tape, and it's a thin line that you have to fit in to get assistance. Mm-hmm. You know, that's for the elderly, the young, for anybody. You know, you have to either be in a real bad situation to be able to get some assistance, and it's not fair to the hard working people that, you know, that work hard and you know, they just fall into a temporary situation. Sometimes it's temporary where they need a little help, and in some cases you have people that have paid into the system for years, and like I said, the elderly people that have worked all their entire life, and they need help.
Right.
They need help, and so that was my motivation when I became more educated about how some of the people that are sitting in these seats, legislators that are making these decisions, maybe they have not experienced that type of a thing, or I don't know if it doesn't really matter to them or not, but they vote that stuff down. They vote it down, and when I found out, even though they may be nice people, they may do little things here and there, but on that end, they're hurting us. Yes. They're hurting us on that end, on the stuff that's important. So it's important, that's why, when I found that out, they say, hey, look, we feel like, you're well known in the community between Pitt County and Lenoir County. And, I even had a question when they first asked me. I said, dude, I don't think I have the credentials. I don't have masters and all of that kind of stuff. They said, well, that's not, that's not a requirement.
Right.
They said, your credentials is your character. Yeah. So, we vetted the system. We know all about you. We know the things you've been involved with over the years. You have consistently been for the people. So, they kind of built me up for this, something that I never saw myself doing. And the more I thought about it, I said, well, if nobody else, somebody had to step up to the plate.
That's good.
And it took me about 2 weeks to decide if I
Two whole weeks.
You really have to think about every aspect.
Sure.
Are you going to truly be able to be a good, make a positive impact for the people? No one needs to just step into a position just to occupy a seat.
That's good.
That's if you're not going to be able to help the people out, allow someone else to take that seat. But once I looked at things, and and after they kind of been schooling me with certain things, and I said, well, I guess I am. I am the person for this job, and I was truly convinced that I was the person for it, because my actual life is a reflection of the needs of the people. So, I said, basically I would be the voice for the people that has fallen into positions where they need help and need support, and I don't see any better person to do the job than someone who has actually experienced that, been on both ends of it.
Well, I concur, and I'm telling you, you got my vote. I'm ready to vote right now. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. I mean,
Thank you.
I really believe in my heart of heart that you mean what you say.
Yes, ma'am.
And that the passion is definitely genuine. It's oozing out of you all over the place, and for that I honor you, and I just say, my hat's off to you. Great job, young man.
Thank you,
ma'am. I want to ask you a couple other questions with regard to your platform. You've already addressed that, the seniors and the medical arena, as well as the involvement for children in after-school programs and things of that nature are near and dear to you.
Yes.
Question, is there any particular person in your area or that you have connected with that is at a level where you aspire to be, or at a place where they have actually given you some additional motivation or input that will take you to another level once you're in this position?
Yes. Yes, I think one Representative Raymond Smith, House Representative Raymond Smith, him and Zach Hawkins, House Representative, he was the recruiter from the House, State House, and they was both involved in the process of recruiting me to run for this position. But Raymond and those guys, they really, especially Raymond, they have really kind of been schooling me,
mentoring,
and schooling, mentoring,
so sure.
Teaching me, some things that's going on now, and some things that I need to be aware of and be researching and looking into, And actually, I feel like I'm already working. Well, actually, I have been working.
Right.
You know, and I'm gonna continue to work because the work needs to be done. And you know, looking at some of the things that's on the table now, looking at some things that previously have been, you know, voted on, and some things that we're looking at in the future. So, you know, I feel like I'm gonna be able to hit the ground running, you know.
Well, I believe that you will. I do want to mention, we're winding down here, and we're going to give you an opportunity to share some information with our listeners and our viewers in just a second. But before that, I do want to say that the gentleman that introduced me to you, Mr. Ivy Mewborn, who is the Mayor Pro Temp for Ayden, speaks very highly of you. And he had already convinced me prior to this interview that you were an individual not to reckon with, that we needed to hear and needed to support you. And so I'm honored that you've afforded me the opportunity to sit and chat with you and share that with our viewers, because I do believe that young blood is needed. And we need individuals in positions that, like you said, that know firsthand what this challenge and what this opportunity is all about. And so for that, I say thank you. Last couple of minutes, I'd like you to take a minute and talk to the audience. You got about a couple of minutes here. Just say to them what it is how you'd like them to vote and how they can get in contact with you. And you can take a look at the camera and talk to the individuals. There you are.
All right. Okay. So, and I want to add to what you just said. I know we don't have a couple minutes, but I just want to stress the importance to for everyone to get out to the polls and vote. And it's important that the younger generation partner up with the older generation and to continue to build off of the legacy and the hard work, and we can build off of the knowledge that you guys have done prior to the younger people. The younger people have the energy, the ambition to get out and do the work, but everybody needs to come together, because you know, now's the time. It's so important that everyone get to the polls and vote. You know, everything that impacts your everyday life with services and things, you have the power in your vote. And you know, we can't just we can't afford to sit back and not think that our votes count. So, you know, also I want to let everyone know, please do not allow voter suppression to hold you back from voting. This primary, no voter ID is required. So you do not need a voter's ID to go and vote. Early voting is going on right now through February the 29th. And the main date is March the 3rd. Once again, it's very important that you get out and vote. And I'm asking everyone to, if you consider doing research and learning about me, more about me, you can go to my website. It's Brewer, BREWER 2020.org. Research me so you can make an informed decision. But I would just like to let you know, if you send me to the seat, you're sending yourself. I'll be a true representation and a voice for the people.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. We've thoroughly enjoyed you. I've been enlightened and inspired all over again. Just want to leave everyone with this little line of information. We read over this a little bit earlier today, and it's a statement that I feel that will impact anyone. It's one that will give you thought day after day after day and make you wonder, is this really me, or is this something I need to think about a little more? The statement is, where you will sit when you are old shows where you stood in youth. Think about that for a minute. Where you will sit when you are old shows where you stood in youth. We ask that you take the information that you've obtained or that you've listened to this evening or even viewed with the candidate here, and take it to heart and ask yourself that question. Are you standing for something? Are you falling for anything? You don't want to be a person that makes a decision that influences someone in a negative way. So be one that influences someone in a positive way. That's the person that we've been talking with today. None other than Mr. DeonkoBrewer. We're glad that he's here. Our next representative for the NC House District 12. Once again, thank you so much, and please, please go out to vote. Any final words, Mr. Brewer?
Thank you for having me, and please go out and vote. Thank you.
You're so very welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.